Good morning, children. I welcome you in your science tutorials. As we have discussed yesterday the conservation of fossil fuels, with this we have completed the chapter. Today we will revise the complete chapter through different types of PPTs in this video. So let's revise complete chapter 5, that is coal and petroleum. Let's start the chapter. So we will revise chapter 5, coal and petroleum. What are natural resources? The first topic of this chapter that we have already studied, materials which are present in nature that are useful to us and are called natural resources. For example, air, water, soil, coal, petroleum, minerals, plants and animals. These all are natural resources. Now if we will talk about on the factors depending upon abundance and availability, the natural resources are generally of two types: exhaustible and inexhaustible natural resources. Exhaustible natural resources are present in limited quantity in nature and are likely to be exhausted. What do you mean by exhausted? Means finished. They will be exhausted means they will be finished over a certain period of time by human activities. If human beings will not take care of them, they will be finished one day. For example, forest, wildlife, minerals, coal, petroleum, natural gas. Now, inexhaustible natural resources, these resources are present in unlimited quantity in nature and are not likely to be exhausted by human activities. For example, sunlight, air, water, rainfall, clay, sand, etc. These resources are not vanished by human intervention. Now, next topic is types of exhaustible resources. Generally, exhaustible resources are of two types: renewable resources and non-renewable resources. The resources which can be replenished themselves, जो अपने आप renew हो जाएंगे by the nature itself, quick recycling and replacement within a reasonable time period. They are renewable. For example, soil, forest, wildlife. But if we will talk about coal, petroleum and natural gas, they can replenished by the nature, but the time duration is quite long. So the resources which cannot be replenished themselves, जो अपने आप से replenish नहीं होंगे by quick recycling, फटाफट से नहीं होंगे, they are called non-renewable resources. The next topic is fossil fuels. Fossil fuels, the remains of dead plants and animals buried in the earth millions of years ago, they form the fossil fuels. For example, coal, petroleum, natural gas, they all are formed from the dead remains of plants and animals buried under the earth millions of years ago. So they are fossil fuels. Now we will discuss about the first fossil fuel, that is coal. First of all, coal is a fossil fuel. It is really hard and black in color, and it is found in deep coal mines under the surface of the earth in the form of coal beds. It is found in Bihar, Jharkhand, West Bengal, Odisha and Madhya Pradesh. And the big coal mines are at Jharia and Bokaro in Jharkhand and Raniganj in West Bengal. Now, coal is formed by the gradual decay and compression of plants and trees in the absence of air. Absence of air means anaerobic, and this is called carbonization. So the process of conversion of dead vegetation into coal under the influence of high temperature and pressure is called carbonization. And what are its uses? Coal is used in railway engines to produce steam to run the engine. It is also used in houses and villages to cook food in chulhas. It is also used in thermal power plants. It is also used to produce organic compounds such as phenol, benzene, toluene, and naphthalene. If we will talk about the formation of coal, first of all, in the topmost layer, huge forests grow over 300 million years ago, covering most of the earth. Then what happens due to some natural calamities like earthquake has came, volcanoes, these forests got buried under the soil. Destruction of these soils took place. The remains of dead plants and animals is converted into peat coal, and peat has less than 60% of the carbon content. After that, the peat coal got compressed between sediments layers to form lignite coal, which has 60 to 70% carbon. Further, more compression leads to the formation of bituminous coal, and eventually, at last, the best variety of coal is obtained that is having 90% carbon, which is known as anthracite coal. So this is all about the formation of coal. Now this is the process of destructive distillation of coal. Before moving on to the next topic, we must know what is destructive distillation of coal. It is the process of breaking coal by heating it to a very high temperature, and take care, this all process takes place in absence of air. Now what happens? First of all, after the destructive distillation of coal, what happens? We have to take a small amount of powdered coal in boiling tube, water in conical flask. We have to set up the apparatus as I have shown in the slide, and we have to heat the powdered coal with the help of Bunsen burner. Here burner is also given. When we heat the powdered coal, we would observe the formation of dark brown grey vapors. Some of the carbon vapors is solidified near the mouth of the boiling tube and is known as carbon. This vapor escapes into the conical flask containing water. Here we can also have the test tube or conical flask. Here in this figure it is shown test tube. So there is water in this, and it condenses to form two distinct layers. Top layer contains clear liquid called ammoniacal liquor, and the lower layer containing coal tar. It is clearly visible, and black residue called coke. Okay, so this is about the destructive distillation of coal. Now we will talk about their uses. Have different uses. Now we move on to the petroleum. How is petroleum formed? See, petroleum is formed by the decomposition of dead remains of plants and animals buried under the sea millions of years ago. Okay. Now, it is believed that millions of years ago, the plants and animals which live in the sea, they died. What happens? Their dead bodies sank to the bottom of the sea. They were soon covered with clay and sand. Under high pressure and temperature, after millions of years, in the absence of air, these dead plants and remains of animals were slowly converted into petroleum. Petroleum is then passed through porous rocks and got trapped between non-porous rocks, and more volatile component of petroleum called natural gas forms over and cover it. Now this is how petroleum is formed. Now how we can obtain it? See bete, it is present in the deep under the surface of the earth between two layers of impervious rocks. Natural gas occurs above the petroleum, trapped under the rocks. The layer containing the petroleum and natural gas is found above that of water. Petroleum and natural gas are lighter than water, hence do not mix with it. So what happens? First of all, those areas in which petroleum may be present, they are located by the experts. And at such places, petroleum is obtained by the drilling holes, which is called oil wells. Here also we can see into the earth crust by machines called drilling rigs. What happens? The pipes are inserted. See in the figure also you can easily see these pipes are inserted until they reach the petroleum deposits. Due to high internal pressure of the natural gas, crude oil rushes out of the pipes. By using certain pumps, petroleum is pumped out. So this way we obtain the petroleum. Now the next topic is refining of petroleum. It is a process of separating various constituents or useful fractions of petroleum is known as refining of petroleum. These all are obtained at different temperature, as you have seen in the figure also. And what happens? See, we get petroleum gas in liquid form, that is LPG, and it is below 40 degree. Okay, then we can obtain gasoline, kerosene, diesel, fuel oil, lubricating oil, paraffin wax, and bitumen. These all are the components that we get from the fractional distillation of petroleum, and these components have different uses that we have already discussed in detail. Now the next part is petrochemicals. Petrochemicals are the chemicals derived from petroleum and natural gas. They are used in the manufacture of synthetic fibers, plastics, perfumes, dyes, explosives, and due to its great commercial importance, petroleum is also known as black gold. Now moving on to the next part, that is natural gas. We will discuss its introduction and we will discuss its uses. Natural gas is an important fossil fuel which occurs deep inside the earth between the two layers of non-porous rocks, either alone or above the petroleum deposits. It is a mixture of hydrocarbon, that is methane is mainly present, but butane and propane is also present in small amount. It acts as an ideal fuel. Why it is known as an ideal fuel? Because it burns with a blue smokeless flame without leaving any ash. Its calorific value is very high. And if we will talk about its uses, it is stored under high pressure as compressed natural gas is used as a fuel in motor cars, buses, trucks, because it is less polluting. It is also used for power generations, and it is a great advantage of CNG is that it can be supplied directly from the gas wells to the homes and factories through a network of underground pipelines. Natural gas is used as starting material for the manufacture of a number of chemicals and fertilizers. Natural gas is also used for the manufacture of carbon black, which is used in the rubber industry as a strengthening agent. Natural gas is also used to obtain hydrogen on industrial scale, which is used in the manufacture of ammonia. So these all are about the uses of natural gas. And next is limitations of fossil fuels. We know that the two main limitations of fossil fuel are limited availability and air pollution. It took millions of years to convert dead organisms into fossil fuels because time duration, it takes millions of years. And the second one is it cannot replenish themselves by quick recycling. It takes a lot of time to replenish themselves. So this is the limitation of fossil fuel. Next is air pollution. See, when the fossil fuels are burnt, They produce gases like carbon dioxide, monoxide, sulfur dioxide and smoke. They causes respiratory problems to human beings, also cause death because of suffocation. Also it results in acid rain and it results in greenhouse effect. And second one is incomplete combustion results in the formation of carbon monoxide and soot particles. When carbon monoxide is inhaled, we have to go through the reduction in the oxygen carrying capacity, and we can die also because of suffocation, because we will not get sufficient amount of oxygen. And soot particles when enter our body, it causes sneezing, cough, respiratory problems like asthma. The last and the important topic is conservation of fossil fuels. We should reduce the uses of fossil fuels and use these fuels only when they are absolutely required. And we should encourage the use of renewable resources of energy like wind energy, solar energy and hydro energy to meet our needs. And third one is we should use more fuel efficient machines. Okay. Now, how we can save and conserve energy, what steps we can take. We should take the following steps, like use fans and lights, cooler, room heaters, air conditioners only when they are required. Use devices like solar cooker, solar water heater and solar water pump which use renewable source of energy, that is solar energy. Fuel efficient vehicles must be used and their engines must be properly maintained. Regular maintenance of gas pipes, oil pipes and water pipes is necessary to prevent loss of any resource. Use LEDs, CFLs instead of bulbs which consume less energy. Use public transport instead of private vehicles as far as possible. Use pressure cooker for cooking. Use efficient smokeless chulhas in houses where kerosene, coal or wood is used for cooking. So this is all about